All right, Storm fans, as you can see here, we have a little bit of a different face than what we usually have. We have Mr. Will Miles. Will, you know, we've come through the season. You made it through this part of the season, getting ready for Week 8, getting ready to go to the Desert Hawks of West Texas. The first question is, how do you feel? What's it like being out here in Southwest Kansas? I'm assuming you've never really been out here.
Not even a little bit.
So, what are your thoughts being out here?
I mean, Southwest Kansas is definitely Southwest. I don't know, somewhere between you want it and you got it. Not really much to do out here. Not much trouble to get into. But the community is good, man. They really rally and support around us. So it's nice being somewhere where they want you to play football.
How do you feel the season's gone so far?
I feel like at the beginning of the season, with the rules, I felt like we were the only team playing Ironman for the first 3 weeks. So a lot of teams got that one up on us, winning by 2s and 3s. We're 6 points from being a 5-1 team. So once the rules changed, everything just got to rolling. We clicked as a team.
Absolutely. We're going, like I said, we are through Week 7, getting ready to go into Week 8. As you said, we are 7 points from being 6-1 at this point. We're sitting at a healthy 4-3. So what do you think? What do you feel like has been the thing that you've improved the most as a player while being here?
Well, the arena game, contrary to belief, is a lot more physical than being outside. It's a lot more fast-paced, a lot more aggression. So it took me a little second to adjust to the pace and the rules of the game. But once you get adjusted, it's like a kid in a candy store. It's a walk in the park.
Gotcha. You want to walk us through a little bit? I know you have a little bit of experience post-college. You want to walk us through what that's like, or actually walk us through college and then what got you to here?
Well, I started off at Arizona Western as a community college. Went to 2 national championships there. Transferred to Central Methodist at Fayette, Missouri. Played there for about 3 years. Got an All-American Conference Championship, All-Conference. After college, I played for the Cardinals. Went through rookie minicamp with them. Got cut before preseason. And then played the last 2 years in the USFL for the Pittsburgh Ballers. Got to play in the championship game last year. The merger kind of kicked us out, so ended up here. Shout out to Shady Sports.
Absolutely. So, you have a fairly similar story as a lot of guys with the USFL, XFL merger. Cut the workforce by half. But, all bad things don't seem lost. You end up out here, you end up being a good player for us. Yeah. On a very, very stout defensive line.
The best.
So I'm assuming you probably knew none of these guys, or I guess you probably knew Desmond.
And Desmond was it.
Yeah. So what's that been like for you, building that rapport with these guys, really the last 10 weeks?
The first couple weeks, it was a little different, meeting the head coach that doesn't talk to you. They just kind of look at you, let you walk past. It was a little different for me. But once you get to know the coaching staff and your teammates, it's like being a family. You're always with each other 24 hours of the day, 7 days a week. So you got to get along at some point.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if you don't get along, you're either going to get left or be on your own, right?
You get them out quick.
Yeah. Well, hey, Will, do you have anything left you want to say to the fans?
Maulers by 8.
Maulers by 8. Yeah.
What knowledge you want? What?
What's your? Okay, so those that don't know about Will, he is a walking fun fact. He is a history buff.
A little bit.
He loves the what's up, brother?
What's up?
So what is your most fun fact that you have of all your fun facts?
There's only 2 people in the world that know the Coca-Cola recipe, and they can never be in the same continent at the same time.
He dropped that one on us today during field goal PAT.
That's fun.
Hey, if you like having Will on here, make sure you drop your comments below. We'll get it to him later, but for now, we're gonna kick Will off.
The best Will.
But we're gonna kick this Will off. We're gonna bring in somebody else that has the same first name, just a little bit of a different last name. So go ahead and say bye to the crowd, Will, and we'll bring the other Will on.
Bye, guys.
And don't forget, fans, you drop your questions below here. We will pull them up. We are going to have a special Q&A session with Coach Thomas that he is just learning about right now as he stuffs his face right in front of me while I've had no food. But somebody that makes sure he never goes without food, Mr. Will Canty, big number 77. How are you doing on a fine Wednesday night?
Hey, everybody. Doing great.
Hi, man. I'm great. Glad we have you on finally. So funny story about Will Canty. Yesterday at practice, he goes, "Man, do you hate me?" And I go, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Man, you never asked me to be on the podcast. You never take me anywhere." And I go, "Will, I think I remember week 1 at the end of practice in the meetings one night, I said, hey, if any of you guys want to be interviewed, get with me. I'll make sure it happens." And he finally got with me yesterday. And what do we know? We're on here, aren't we?
Yes, sir.
Well, Will, you went to Garden City, JUCO, spent some time there. So being out here in Southwest Kansas isn't something brand new.
It's not brand new.
What's your time been like being back?
It's been great. There's not too much things to do in Dodge, but as us being teammates, we just we got a better bond. And every day, if we ain't playing Uno in the house, we play video games. So there's not too much to do, but we make fun of it.
I'm kind of leery to ask you this question. I hope you can keep the story appropriate.
I got you.
What is probably the best memory you have so far in your about 9-10 weeks here?
Oh, best memory. So, going at it with Coach GT, we was in the game one day, and I got a flag. I think it was like 2 weeks ago, I got a flag. And I was like, "Coach, trust me." And he said, "I got you, but not this play." The following play, he was like, "Inside run." No, outside run. And we ran the ball. And it was a touchdown, I think. So, it was probably a dope moment for me.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, true. As Coach Thomas just said, true story. What do you think you've learned the most while you've been out here? Whether it's about being a good teammate, being a professional, your game.
Well, coming from college, the game sped up. I never thought I'd ever be playing AFL. Thanks to Coach Thomas, big shout out. You know what I'm saying? He gave me a second chance because I came from a small school that's really not known from everybody. So when we came out, you know what I'm saying, I was just respected, learning the game, learning from other players. It's a fun experience.
Well, very, very good. Kind of walk us through, what was your college career like? How did you actually end up back out here?
So in college, basically, I didn't have a pro day. And Coach Tommy hit me up before this, I think it was like right after the season or something like that, for like 3-4 weeks. And I was just ignoring him because I was just like, I'm going to get a call. And, somehow I didn't get a call. And some said, just give him a call. So I gave him a call, and I was talking about one of my teammates, Marquise, one of the DNs. And he was like, "Who is this?" So he answered, we talked, we chopped it up, and he liked the player. And I was like, "Coach, you got 2 of us now."
Yeah.
So we both came out.
Yeah, awesome. Well, nothing quite like having the bond of former teammates being teammates once again. I forgot what I was going to ask you. I guess I'm going to ask you my finishing question because I don't remember what it was. What do you want to tell the fans about what this team is, who this team's about? Why should fans be a fan of the Southwest Kansas Stars?
I feel like fans should be fans and should come out and support just because we're a brotherhood. We help out in the community if we could. If we have elders coming in, they need to put groceries up, we help them out. We got a great, solid group of guys. Everybody on the team is respectful. The coach is respectful. We enjoy time. We have our laughs and our, ups and downs. But at the end of the day, we all one. I can say that we truly enjoy the opportunity as a whole. We get better every day in practice. So, you know what I'm saying? And in Dodge City, it's like only 2 or 3 teams. So I feel like, y'all should come out and support.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, you heard it here. If you are anywhere in the area, there's only 3 teams in Kansas. One of them is the best team. That is yours truly, the Southwest Kansas Storm. And Willie, I'm going to kick you off and bring in the main man, Mr. Gary Thomas. And while we get ready for that, don't forget, fans, you do have the opportunity to get your questions answered specifically by Coach Thomas. And as always, if you want anything answered, you have questions, please put those in. We do want to give a big shout out real quick to Dodge City Brewing for having us here every week. Give a big shout out to Miss Kennedy Thomas, Coach Thomas's youngest daughter, or only daughter, which she didn't know was getting ready to happen. But Dodge City Brewing is a great partner for the Storm. Allows us to be in here every Wednesday, kind of ruin their flow of traffic, but we love having the fans out here. We love to have all of you out here over the coming weeks. Coach, great Wednesday night, right?
Absolutely. You had will on will crime.
Two of probably the biggest characters on this team.
Yeah, and in totally opposite ways.
Yeah.
Will Miles is secretly maybe the funniest guy on the team. He is a fountain of useless knowledge.
Yeah.
And every day during field goal PAT, he gives me about 15 facts that I had no idea were a thing, nor can I verify if they're a thing. So he's either the smartest guy in the building or he has the best imagination in the building.
So he told me today, before film, he said, "Did you know George Washington probably had no idea dinosaurs existed?"
Yes, I heard that one the other day in field goal PAT.
And I was like, oh.
And then you had Will Canty, who is cooler than the other side of the pillow. Yeah. And Will is an experience. You can't even really put him in any box. He's just Will Canty is his own thing, and the longer you're around him, you can't help but like it.
Yeah, exactly. I'll never forget. So the first day the linemen were in, I thought my thought process on Will Canty was, oh no, he's going to be a problem for us.
Yeah,
because Pat was trying to get face masks changed, and was like, no, I am not taking that face mask. And Pat was like, you have to have a white face. I'm just going to get my own. I'll just do my own.
Yeah, and he did.
Yeah. And,
I know who bought it.
Yeah, I do too. Shout out to that sponsor for buying that.
Coach Thomas.
Yeah. Anyways, I showed the highlight video earlier tonight when we first started. As always, having you on, got to ask, what were your thoughts on Sunday's game?
We played well. I thought we made good decisions in a lot of ways. Obviously there's always a lot to clean up, but I thought we were sound on special teams. Obviously our defense was lights out. You can hold anybody at 12 points. You're doing a good job in any football game, not just indoor. But the game went by fast, and a lot of people don't even realize, some of it's our style of play, and some of it is obviously the timing rules and stuff like that. But we had 3 possessions in the first half. That's it. Yeah. We had 2 in the first quarter and 1 in the second quarter. We had 1 last possession that we got right before the half, but there was 5 seconds on the clock. That was our 4th possession. And then in the second half, because we had back-to-back interceptions and 1 was a pick 6, we only had 6 actual possessions in the entire game. So some people, I heard, the AFL weekly broadcast and what have you, they're talking about that we don't score 50 points a game. If we'd have scored on every possession, we still wouldn't have had an opportunity to score 50 points. And some of it's by design and some of it is, just the way the games are going. So it's, I don't really have an answer to it, but at the same time, we're limiting their possessions. Yeah. So if we're not efficient, obviously we're not going to score a lot of points. But if we can limit their possessions and they're not efficient and we're playing great defense, we're going to limit what other teams can score. Salina, for example, they've been scoring 40s and 50s consistently, and we held them to 30. Yeah. So a lot of that is people don't realize it. They just look at the final score and go, wow, they're their offense doesn't score a lot of points, and their defense is great. Well, yes, both things can be true, but some of that also can be by design and us trying to keep the ball away from people and control the football a little bit and have, some outdoor concepts a little bit with the indoor game. So
I was telling one of my coaching buddies that I've coached high school with, because I coach state, man. I said, it honestly felt like one of the games my first year coaching high school where we took 10.5 minutes off the clock the very first possession.
Yeah, I think our first possession was like an 8-minute drive or something like that. So, and again, that's like I said, in one of those 6 possessions, I think we got the ball on the 4-yard line on the offensive or the defensive 4-yard line and scored in one play. So we had a 1-play drive. So it's just, it's different. I get it. And like I said, if you don't watch our games and break them down and understand kind of what's going on and how it's going and just look at the final scores, you would come to a conclusion about our football team that may not actually be accurate unless you actually watched us play football, watch how the game played out, and we'll find a lot out about ourselves this weekend.
Yep. So we do if I can speak, we are going to Odessa, Midland area this weekend. We're going to make a nice 8-hour trip to play the Desert Hawks. They are sitting 3-4. We are sitting 4-3. But on the podcast we recorded yesterday, it was made clear that neither one of those records are really indicative of how good both of these teams are. You look at West Texas, who has 2 losses to a very good Albany team by a total of 4 points.
Correct. And they had the lead in both those games late, or should have.
And so kind of what's your mindset going into this game without giving too much of the game plan away?
Honestly, when I watch them on film, I feel like we match up okay. I think everybody looks at looks at the scores of our games, and the one that kind of jumps out at you, we're 5 points from being 6-1. The one that jumps off the screen is the Albany. We got our brains kicked in. No one's disputing that. You don't have to be very smart to look at the score and figure out that didn't go our direction. But people don't know that we went there on a short week and got notified basically on Tuesday that we were going there on Friday. So we had a short week of prep. We were a little bit banged up. We lost our best defensive back, who arguably is one of the better ones in the league, we think. We were I don't know if that was the Iron Man. I can't remember if that was Iron Man or not, but
that was our last Iron Man.
Yeah, we were playing Iron Man football, but people don't realize that it took us 21 hours each direction to get to that game on a short day because we traveled for 21 hours. We didn't have a walkthrough. So we hadn't practiced in 48 hours before that game. Didn't have a chance to have a walkthrough the day before or even day of the game because it was an afternoon game. We traveled for 42 hours, and we were only on the ground in New York for 32, and 12 of that we were sleeping because we got in at night, and then the next night, and after the game, we were on the road by 5 a.m. the next day. So, and we didn't get back until Tuesday at 3 a.m., not to mention the air conditioner on the bus was broken, and we had to drive to Denver to catch a flight to LaGuardia. So we drove 7 hours to Denver, flew to LaGuardia, rented vehicles, and drove 4 hours to Albany. And yes, it's a 4-hour drive with New York City traffic. So
how do you really feel about that?
I feel like I honestly feel like if we played Albany again, it would be a more competitive football game. But as I watched, body for body, West Texas play, they're a good football team. They seem to have a really great understanding of arena football. They're very traditional in that aspect. They've got a lot of answers. They give you just enough to keep you off balance and keep things unpredictable. They've got good players doing it, so it'll be a good test for us. But I think we match up. I think we're starting to hit our groove a little bit of where our comfort zone is. The travel's not terrible. It's not perfect, but it's not terrible. So like I said, I'm excited to see how this one kind of plays out. We're playing with a lot of confidence right now, and we'll see where it goes.
Well, Miss Kennedy asked me to give a shout out to your oldest son, Keaton. So
Keaton's here,
and
everybody's chowing down on pizza.
Yeah. Must be nice.
Yeah, well, you know.
But I know we don't want to get too far in because we're not positive that the playoff picture is solidified. But as of right now, it looks like it's going to be 5 teams.
Correct.
4 and 5 will play each other that first week, while 1, 2, and 3 have a bye, and then 1 will play the winner of 4, 5. 2 will play the winner of 3. Right now, this is kind of something we've been going over the last week or so. We've kind of been hearing different rumors. Right now, we are sitting in the 5th seed.
Correct.
If the season ended today, we would be going to Orlando.
Correct.
But the season doesn't end today, and there are a lot of different there's a lot of different ways that this could play out.
Yep. Essentially a 4-team race for the last 2 spots. This is kind of the way I see it.
Yeah. And so, I know you kind of went over that with the guys today in practice, and actually, this kind of works out perfect because Mr. Kai Myers asked the question that I was basically getting ready to ask you. We want to thank Kai again for being on. It says, with 3 straight wins and the team improving week by week, what is it going to take to make the playoffs? Record-wise, win out 2 of the last 3, 1 of the last 3.
It's a complicated question, but basically, we control our own destiny. That's the good part. If the season ended today, we'd be going to Orlando. Orlando has 3 games left. They play Albany twice, and they play Wichita. So they've got a tough road to hang on to their spot. But I mean, if you go back to the opener, they played a shootout with the 2, and they should be well rested. I mean, those games could honestly go either way. But Orlando controls their own destiny too. And really, so does we, and so does West Texas, and so does Nashville. So West Texas plays us and Salina, and that's it. They're done. But they are a game under 500. So if they split, they'll still be under 500. If they win both, they'll be a game above 500, and they probably get in because they would have beaten us head to head if that happened. If they play, if they play. Nashville, on the other hand, has only 1 game left. So they have 2 weeks off, and then they play us at their place. So we're going to play 10 straight weeks, and then they have 2 weeks off to prepare for us. But Nashville is a game under 500. So the best that they can finish is 500, but the way the playoffs break down, it's winning percentage first, then it's the head-to-head. So for us, if we go 1-2 down the stretch and that loss happens to be to Nashville, we will be 500, they will be 500, but they will have beat us into a head-to-head, so they will either knock us out or knock us down, depending on how everything else plays out. So basically what I told the team today is if you go 0-3, we're done. If you go 1-2, we got to have a lot of help. If we go 2-1 down the stretch, we're in and potentially hosting. And if we win all 3, we will be hosting. So, and that's essentially all that we can control. But it's nice to get a little help, on the way. I wouldn't be lying if I said I'm a huge Albany Firebirds fan for the next 3 weeks, because if they beat Orlando twice, they do us a huge favor.
Shout out to my guy number 3, Byron Edwards, for that.
Yeah. So, I'm out there rooting for Albany because they help us, kind of move forward. But we're still in that process. If they do that and help us, and then we don't beat West Texas and Nashville, they just help somebody else. They help us.
Exactly.
So it would be nice to get a little help, but at the same time, we got to help ourselves. So, I'm rooting for Salina. Regardless of what happens with us in West Texas, if we beat West Texas, I don't think they can catch anybody. But if they knock us off, then we absolutely need Salina to knock them off to give ourselves a fighting chance to still sneak in the back door. So we control our own destiny. Everybody controls their own destiny right now, but we for sure do. And all we can control right now is how well we play, and hopefully, like I said, we do our jobs and get a little help along the way.
Exactly. Mr. Kai Myers adds another comment. Wouldn't surprise him to see the Stevens championship game. I sure hope that come July 19th or 20th, whatever it was, or whatever that weekend is, I really hope that is the case. We are still playing.
Yeah, Kai's a brilliant man, and clearly he's on to something. I like the way he thinks.
I think we can go with another 6 more wins. And
a lot of meat on that bone, but a lot of things gotta fall into place. I don't care who you are. If you're playing championship football, there was some luck.
Yeah.
Sometimes the ball bounces right to you, and you can't explain why. And
sometimes
there's the argument that you make your own luck too. So
sometimes the ball bounces right in front of you, and you can't scoop it up.
And that has I can show you film.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to take everybody kind of rowing the boat together in the same direction, and it's going to take some luck, and it's going to take us staying healthy. If we get banged up, if anybody gets banged up down the stretch, they've got no chance. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to see how it all plays out. And, to be the best, you want to beat the best. So, we don't want an easy path in there, and we don't have one. West Texas is going to be a quality opponent. Washington's going to come in here super motivated, and I'm sure they'll regroup before we get them back down here in Kansas. And I already know Nashville is going to be well rested. Braxton Haley plays for Nashville, who played for me here at Dodge City, and was one of the leading receivers at IFL a couple years ago. So I know the quality of the talent they've got running around that field, and so it's not going to be an easy path, but it's our path. So
yep, absolutely. Well, Storm fans, this is where I plan to put the Q&A session, but as Coach Thomas can see, we have no other questions in there besides Mr. Kai Myers, which we answered that question. Going into this week, fans, we need your help. We need your support. If you are not able to be there, I am 90% sure it'll be on YouTube. I cannot say that for absolute fact, but I believe that's where
where everything's been the last few weeks. So I feel pretty good about your prediction there.
Make sure you wear your Storm gear Saturday. Show your support for us. Even if you have watch parties, tag us on those in Facebook and X and Instagram. But next Saturday night, we will play June 22nd at 5 p.m. We host Washington. They're going to come in for our agricultural night that is sponsored by Beck's Seeds. Fans are encouraged to wear their cowboy hats. I'm curious to see if Coach Thomas can wear a cowboy hat into the pregame.
I was going to say, it won't fit on my headset, but then you threw it in the pregame there and threw me a curveball. Yeah. So I will run that by my wife and see how she feels about me being in a cowboy hat during pregame. I will say this. If Coach Sheck wears one and Coach Callahan wears one, I will wear one.
Well, Coach Sheck, maybe you're watching this right now. We know Coach Callahan's not. Because we see him right now.
He's here. He's here in attendance, and technology sometimes is not his friend.
So those two have now been called out. I promise we're going to have a couple guys on the field or on our team.
Oh, absolutely.
But we fans, we'd love to see you in your cowboy hats June 22nd at 5 p.m. for our kickoff for our last regular season home game of the year.
Excited to finally get a Saturday game. We are the kings of Sunday somehow. In the infinite wisdom of
somebody.
Sunday games are, I get it.
Yeah.
NFL does it, but Sunday games are they're not that much fun.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of Saturdays.
Me too. With that being said, Coach, any final thoughts for tonight?
No, we're yes. We're growing as a football team. We're starting to figure some things out. We're getting settled in at some spots. We're relatively healthy, but this is it's a fluid situation. Not only from a league standpoint, but from a team standpoint. When you got 21 guys, little nagging injuries come up and just literally change everything about the team that you have the ability to put on the football field. So, we're blessed to have outstanding treatment and healthcare for our guys. Shout out to Dr. Phillips for all that he does. Shout out to our athletic trainers. Shout out to even the college where some of the guys go to get treatment at times. Just without it, I don't know where we would be. We'd be not practicing as much as we do, but we've got through the two kind of what we call heavy lifting days of the week. Tuesday and Wednesdays we go pretty hard. Thursdays we start to scale back. Fridays a walk through. Saturdays game. So we've got through the main part of our week. Tomorrow is kind of a review and polish. We still try to push a little bit of tempo, and then Friday pretty much are no tempo. But we're starting to figure some things out, and hopefully from a fan aspect, we're putting a good product out there and something that people can kind of get on board with, and people can be proud of, and just know that we're doing our best. We put in a lot of hours to kind of make this thing happen. And we're proud of the product that we're putting out there. We're doing it with good people. They're good guys to be around. They're fun to be around at practice. They're entertaining. They're charismatic. More importantly, they've been good guys in the community. They've really rolled with the punches of kind of how this thing has gone, and haven't complained, too much, and really just kind of made this thing could have gone sideways a lot of different ways, and the guys, all of the credit, well, not all the credit. Some of the credit goes to the owners. Yeah. They've been doing a lot behind the scenes to keep this thing on the tracks. To help our players be in a position to want to even stick around and see this thing through. But ultimately, it's about our players. They're the ones that go out there and play. I told the guys early in the year, I said, this whole thing's not a football game. It's just a rock concert. Yeah. And you guys are the band. Yep. I go, people don't come to see me. They don't come to see the arena. It's not a museum. Nope. They're coming to a concert. You guys are performers. And we just happen to be playing football as the entertainment. So people will only come to see a good product. People don't go watch and pay money to go watch bad concerts. So we have a lot to do with determining how many people come watch these football games. So hopefully we're holding up our part, and hopefully we can continue this thing down the road and put this thing together and string a couple wins together here and put ourselves in a position to hopefully host. Hosting a playoff game would be outstanding. Beats the heck out of going to Orlando, or West Texas again, or Nashville 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, which is a possibility.
So, this thing can really, from a travel aspect, we'd get back from Nashville and literally have to turn around and go back to Nashville. Yeah. Or even worse, have to get on a plane and go to Orlando or something like that. So, we control our own destiny and are motivated to in more ways than one. So, absolutely. But it should be a fun ride.
Yes. You heard it here, folks. It is going to be a fun ride. I hope you are on board with this. And as always, Southwest Kansas, there's a storm coming.